Welcome to Beans and Breakdowns, a podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between specialty coffee and the heavy music community. On this episode, I'm joined by Thomas Pavia. He is the guitarist for the band Desecrate and ColdxSnap. So grab a fresh cup of coffee and wake the fuck up! What's going on, Caffeinated crew? Today I'm with Thomas. He plays guitar in the band Desecrate. He also plays in the band ColdxSnap. We're here at the Canadian Roasting Society, so if you hear some strange noises, it's probably just the roaster or people getting some really delicious coffee. But Thomas, how are you? How are you doing?
Pretty well. How about you?
I'm good. We've been drinking some coffee already, chatting a bit. This is I can't remember what he said. It was like a Sheka anaerobic.
I didn't
anaerobic.
when you ordered.
I know.
Just thanks for the coffee. That's the only thing I remember. Like,
I'll double check what it is. But it's super delicious, nice and fruity.
But that roastery is really good. You know, like I'm just working around. You know, like at Mesarem, you know, like on the side, and we come like often to take the coffee here, and like it's one day they have like, to me, like to be honest, it's one of the best places in Montreal.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got a great vibe too because it's kind of like the warehouse, the roaster's happening. It's got the little coffee bar, and then like 30 different roasters.
Yeah, and there's a lot of choice of coffee, like a different style, and they know what they do. Like,
yeah, hell yeah.
That's also like the good things with them, you know, like
they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about coffee. What is your favorite kind of go-to coffee?
Of a few, like, but to be honest, like the Ethiopian one, to me, like it's the Ethiopian.
Mm-hmm. Are you more like washed or natural or don't care, just as long as it's Ethiopian?
As long as it's Ethiopian, I don't care. And they definitely like washed is the best. You know, like is my favorite one. You know, like if I want to get like picky,
yeah.
But I'm not the kind of guy who's gonna be like picky. I want this kind of coffee, and then just like no, you know, like. I'm versatile, you know, like I like also like the Colombians and some, but here's the thing. What I love in the Ethiopian coffee is like, this is some caffeine, but it's not, you know, it doesn't shake, you know, it doesn't shake your heart, even if you like drink too much.
Right.
A little bit, you know, like small, like acidity, a bit fruity, you know.
It's super clean too. Usually it's like a nice clean.
I just like it, you know, so I discovered like more this kind of like coffee when I was like traveling in Asia, you know.
Yeah, and I definitely, I know that on Instagram you have like millions of pictures from Japan and Korea and trips like
definitely.
that.
Like I spend a lot of time, you know, those last 5 years traveling those like both very interesting like country, and where they have like awesome coffee first and also great hardcore scene. Great fucking hardcore scene, you know. So especially for Japan and Korea, like as I love the Korean hardcore scene, but they have an insane punk scene in Korea. Like, wow.
Yeah. And I know like Japan is insane hardcore wise, and Blood Axe Festival is like one of the best, I think, hardcore festivals in the world, but really still underground. Because
But there's some few, you know, like now, like festival, you know, like, I mean, between Black and Blue, Sound and Fury, you can put Blood Axe, you know, like in the top 5.
Yeah.
I've been once. I did the Blood Axe when Trail of Lies and All Out War was like there and Turnstile. So, and oh my god, just like Japan is like, I love Japan. Japan, it looks like kind of stuck in the 90s, you know.
Yeah.
Like for people who knew the 90s, when you see the mosh pit, you know, it's like kind of stuck in the 90s. Like, dude, especially like when you go show in Nagoya. Dude, man, like everybody was wearing like baggy and mosh pit are fucking insane.
Just spin kicking the whole time. It's all legs.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. What was your favorite coffee that you've had, either Korea, Japan, wherever you've been in Asia? Do you remember like your best shop?
Yeah. So basically, like, pretty hard to say. Like, I would like to say top 5. I'm gonna start with like, I've been in a small coffee shop in Okinawa. Yeah,
okay.
In this like really small coffee shop in Okinawa. Dude, that guy, man, had like the best coffee. Like everything he had, oh my god, he made it drip, you know. So like all the things that I ordered was drip,
like the V60.
Yeah. Cool. And dude, man, what I found also like more like you can drink like kind of like 10 coffee and your heart like
Yeah.
your heart doesn't shake at all, so yeah, I would like to say this one. In Japan, there's I don't know the name of all this place, that sucks, but when you're in it's close from the Champion shop, like it's in Shinjuku. It's close like from the Champion shop. You have two like Champion shop stores, like the smallest one. You have like that coffee shop, like just like 2 minutes, you can miss it. And that coffee shop also is crazy. And then I will say like in South Korea, there's a reflow coffee in Hongdae.
Yeah.
Then I recommend to anyone that coffee shop is like, wow.
Yeah.
And in Montreal, I would like to say here
The Canadian Roasting Society.
Yeah, between I think the spot is named Dreamy Coffee. It's like I recommend that spot. I recommend also like the Saint-Henri Cafe.
Which
Café
one?
Saint-Henri.
Okay. Yeah.
Café Saint-Henri like is one of like is on the top 5 coffee in Montreal. I mean, like to me also like.
No, I agree.
Personal, like,
yeah.
Personal like opinion, so.
They've kind of led the charge. They were one of the like OG like third wave coffee roasters.
Yeah.
They've been around for a while. But they do their best to not kind of take over a neighborhood, but just find a shop and like, use that as to sell their beans. Like they don't just pop up a coffee shop and like a chain.
Man.
So they're really cool. I did drive by Saint-Henri yesterday in Saint-Henri, and somebody had scratched gentrification on their window. I was like, they've been here for like years.
Yeah, it sucks. There's some few people who's kind of like pretty like victim of. It's pretty rough, because it's the same thing for me. Like I saw the neighborhood changing like so much, and I mean like especially these days in Montreal, it doesn't make
it's
sense.
everywhere.
The inflation, in fact, I mean like. How can I say that? Just like it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Like now it's so expensive to get like to find a place to stay in Montreal. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's not like gentrification. Like we reached a point like it's not like it's not it's Westmount.
Yeah.
You see like like place like Barbara, when you see all the people in Saint-Henri, even like the Parc Cartier, how it changed like so much in 10 years. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like it's the level, I would like to say, and the equality between the poor and the middle class doesn't exist anymore. It's just like it's straight up like rich people. You want to find a place in Saint-Henri? Like, dude, it's so fucking expensive.
Like 1 million, 1.5. Everywhere's crazy right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do love Saint-Henri. I love Dreamy. I think the bar is called Dreamy, but it's in the Roasting Society. So if you do look up, if you're in Montreal and you want to go, look up Dreamy for the hours. Don't look up the Roasting Society because they have different hours online.
Yeah, definitely.
But I know that you, like you said, you love fucking Japan, Korea. I saw a photo of you and Scott Vogel sharing a microphone and then stage diving together.
Yeah.
What is the story behind this?
Oh, but basically, like I have a really good friend of mine, when it's like Jesse Barnett, who sings "Stick to Your Guns."
Yeah.
We used to live together in Saint-Henri with his girlfriend, also like a good friend of mine at the time. And Jesse like had some vacation, and I went on tour with Stick to Your Guns, and Terror was on the bill, and what like a crazy fucking week, like one of the best week of my life, I would like to say, because people know that I love Japan hardcore like personally for years, for years. Like I remember the first video of Numb that I've seen like in the 90s. I was already in love with Japan hardcore, so it was the opportunity for me like to meet like all those bands and so many Japanese bands that I loved. And like with Scott, just like we just have so much fun. And the story between the mic is because like Koba with Loyal to the Grave covered like Master Killer, like on one of the shows. And I used to sing with Koba on stage, like the Master Killer cover.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I like took the mic, and Scott was in the pit, like Santanum was in the pit, became like super ignorant, and just like, wow, what was fun. What was fun. And that's it.
Yeah, it looked like a crazy fucking time because first of all, it was like you're in Japan and then Scott Vogel was there. And then it's like, but you had I was so confused, but at the same time, I was like, this is like one of the best like hardcore photos I've ever seen. Cause Scott, I guess a lot of people, including me, would regard him as like a godfather in hardcore or like modern
Yeah, he
hardcore.
is.
Yeah,
He
like
is definitely, like all those guys, like Scott, like Freddie Madball, like just to
Yeah.
me, like I can understand why Scott is for you. Scott is almost like, I mean, he's older than me, like definitely. But I would like talk about like Freddie Madball to me, like
Yeah.
because Freddie Madball or even like Roger Myret was like to me like the example, or even like Isaac, like just
Yeah.
when I was in the '90s and seeing this guy off stage, I was like, dude, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy. You know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
like, and I understand, like, I understand what for people who Scott Vogel is, and definitely.
That's like talking with some of the older dudes like Rusty and those guys from H2O or people from like Wisdom and Chains and them seeing like Vinny Stigma and seeing like, oh, I can like do that. Like he doesn't know how to read music, but you can feel his music. And so like seeing guys like that, I guess, yeah, Scott would be that for
Yeah.
me and people kind of in my age. But yeah, like Freddie Madball, fucking
Oh yeah, like Madball back in the days, like
Oh,
he,
geez.
like just to me, like it's just like especially like even the first time when I saw Marauder, like was like maybe '96, I'm just like, yeah, what the fuck, just like it was something,
yeah.
and that's the reason why I understand now people look when you see and spend like all those years watching shows. I remember like the adrenaline when you're young and see all those guys and you can see as role model or perfect example also when you see like so many kids go to example to stick to your gun shows and seeing Jesse's like Jesse all the speech that he has and
Yeah.
how he's like very like in his mindset like engage like with all the thing he does because he does a shitload of good things like for the dogs that even like the bookstore that he has it's like for kids it's an influence because and even like especially like I really do think it's really important in hardcore because to me hardcore is a kind of place for people who don't find their place in the role model society, than just like we had been taught at school or something like that. It's kind of like a bit if you feel outcast and you feel good at hardcore shows because you're welcome. To me, it's always like the way I used to see see this. Just like
if
we don't need to be like agreed on everything altogether. But if you feel good there, it's because like you have your place there. That's like really like my point of view in the hardcore scene.
Yeah.
There's no star, there's no like I'm still playing hardcore at my age, and I never quit.
Right.
It's just like even if I change, like even on my musical state, like taste and I'm listening different things and it wasn't the thing and I was listening like 20 years ago. But I'm still playing, I'm still there, like I would like to say like I understand when those people say, like hardcore is my life.
Yeah.
You see, like
Yeah.
it's just like I'm a part of it. It's just like it's my life. It's just not like that's it.
Yeah. It goes beyond the music. It's more about like the community, the family, like
It's no, it's just
like-
just the way you are. It's definitely
Yeah.
like the way you are. Like the way you are in life, the way you treat people.
Yeah.
Accepting everybody. And just like also like if someone it's it's natural.
yeah.
It's natural.
You feel the tug.
I mean, like I will never stop playing music. I
Right.
will never stop that stuff. Never.
I've tried to grow out of it and it doesn't work. It's not. It just comes back even worse.
No, and also,
stronger
like what I found like super cool. Now it's a worldwide stuff, like so. Just by the way of the hardcore music, I met insane people all around the world.
Yeah.
All the places that I've been from Brazil, like I come from Europe, so even in Europe, like everywhere you go, just like you can find like a nobody guy and just you have like the same taste in music and you start to become friends. And I really do think that it's really important, like
Yeah.
to, and we all like kind of like what I found also like super weird and very interesting is even by the way of this music, even we change country, like there's some country, it's another world,
Yeah.
and you still find some people who have the same interest than you. Just by the way of the music, you're making friend, and you are like completely like I would like to say like I don't want like opposite people. Doesn't make sense, just like you will never know you will never understand like what it is to grow up in Japan or grow up in South Korea. And it's not the same thing also that people were born in poor country of Brazil. But when you met and you have the same interest, I just realized and you have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Not just the music. You have a lot of shit stuff in common.
Right. Like that's, I guess, I've talked to some people recently too from like, I don't know if you know Unite Asia.
Yeah, definitely.
So Riz, I recently talked to Riz
cool.
from King Lychee. And we were talking about basically global hardcore because he was in Boston for college and then moved back to China. Or Hong Kong, where he started the King Lychee and publication, everything, and just seeing like on the website bands like that, like seeing like No Excuse, they're like a straight edge youth crew band from I think they're Taiwanese or Indonesian. I'm so sorry if I'm fucking that up, but they're sick. And seeing them, they look like a fucking band from like Long Island, and it's crazy to see like how globally, like even though we're from different places, we probably don't speak the same language like natively.
Yeah.
But it all kind of flows together. Like dude, we do have a lot in common.
Korea, I met some crazy nice dude, and just like when you talk about Unit Asia, I had like 2 great experience in Korea. The first one was like the 10 for 10. Also, here's the thing. During the Japanese trip, like with the tour, like with Stick to Your Guns and Terror,
yeah,
me and Jesse went to South Korea. I wanted to go to South Korea for years, okay? Mm-hmm. Quick story. Once we were there, Jesse was friend with Dennis. Dennis was playing guitar at that time in Relentless. But now everyone knows Dennis because Dennis is playing with Speed.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Everyone knows Speed.
Of gang course, called Speed.
Fucking amazing band. So he's the big guy. He's the big Asian guy. And so we spend time like chilling each other. And Key from the Geeks, it's Jesse up on Instagram. Hey guys, you're in South Korea. Like, if you want, like we should like, we should hang out. I was like, of course, definitely. Let's hang out with people, like with local people, definitely. And Key talk about like, hey, this weekend we have the 10 for 10. So the 10 for 10 is a festival in a small like venue. Rest in peace that venue, because due to the flood of South Korea happened like last week, the venue is shut down. No. It sucks. Yeah, it pretty sucks. So it's 10 band who's going to play 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes. And you have like also like a clock and you have playing 10 minutes.
What?
And Key, we were just fun. And I mean, we were there. Like Dennis was there and we were all, like playing music. And we decided to play that show and form a band. No joke. No joke. So Key rent Jam Space. And so I played guitar. Jesse from Stick to Your Guns was playing drum.
Okay.
And Dennis played bass. And we've worked 5 songs with 2 agnostic front covered. And Key was singing. And we played that fucking show.
That's fucking amazing.
Dude, the best things ever in life. You know what? This is what I'm saying when we play hardcore. What's hardcore? Kids were freaking out. We had so much fun, and we was just playing straight hardcore.
Yeah.
Then, on my second trip, just by myself, we did the same thing, but this time with like Yul from End These Days, Key from the Geeks, and we had like so many, like 1 member of Turn 4 Hour. I mean, 2 members for Turn 4 Hour.
Yeah.
Amazing band from Korea. Guys, if you want to check them, just like for real, like they're fucking insane. And we create a band named PKO. And you can find the show on Unite Asia.
What?
Yeah. You can find that show. It's like Positive Knockout. And even Key like hit me up to record the songs. Maybe next time I'm going to go back to Korea.
That'd be sick.
And it's just like, this thing is just like only like Korean people. And I'm the only like kind of like like they say Wigugin,
Yeah.
The Wigugin, like
you look like a
the
foreigner,
the foreigner. I'm the only foreigner, like in this band. And also we play the show and crazy amazing band, crazy amazing, it's like And just by the way, hardcore, just like.
But it's also like another world over on that side of the globe. Like talking with Riz, like there are so many amazing bands that we don't even get. In North America, like we have no idea that we get Speed, or we get like Cruelty or Sand or Palm or bands like that. But
Sand live, guys, man! Oh my god, Sand live,
so violent,
and so good, man. Dude, fuck, man. Shout out to Makoto, and also like But man, it's fucking good. Sand is fucking amazing.
That new video, like with them with the baseball bats and like so good, man.
I mean, people, you know, like all the tough, you know, like look and attitude, you know, it always been like something in how, like, especially like, then we have seen like this last like 10, maybe like 15, 20 years, you know, in hardcore. It's not something that I'm like, that I really like, but it's just funny to just, I mean, like, I understand what people like it, you know?
I think at this point it's more of like, it's not like a joke per se, but it is more of like, it's kind of funny. Like, because when you talk to people at hardcore shows, for the most part, everybody's really nice. Like, everybody in the scene is, like, friendly and like, gets along. But when you, like, look at a group of, like, hardcore kids or, like, a band, it's like, those people look scary. I don't know if I want to talk to them.
Here's the thing. It's like, it's like, you don't want to fuck with them also because you have all those dudes to deal with, you know? But that's the reality, you know? Like, you want to say, yo, I found them funny with the baseball bat. But, dude, if shit happens, you have to deal with all those guys. And that's reality, you know?
It's true.
So it's just like you can't find funny and make fun of them on video, but just go talk to them and tell them face to face. You have to deal with the entire crew.
Yeah,
now you're gonna realize that yeah, there's a part of credibility with it.
And it always rolls deep too. It's not like 5 people. It's like 30 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to be honest, like at some points, you know, like I understand that, you know, like it's better like when you have 30 people with you, you know, like you can live in peace. You know what I mean? You can live in peace. You know, no one's gonna come and just like looking for trouble with you. You have 30 people with it behind you, you know, so okay.
You brought up Marauder a bit earlier, and there's a band from Paris, Kickback.
Yeah.
Before moving to Montreal, how influential, like in France, was Kickback to that scene?
Both. I mean, like, to me, they're the king of
Of French hardcore.
It depends of like there's also like some band, you know, like then people don't know are pretty underrated.
Yeah.
Like Stormcore. Stormcore is fucking good. I'll put Stormcore. The other one is a very like different different style of music, but I love Right for Life.
Okay.
Right for Life was more, you know, like on the youth crew side, but they have their own style, and they like, yeah, I love Right for Life. But also the first album of L'Esprit du Clan, who came like a little bit like later from that area, are really, really good. But yeah, Kickback at the king, like, dude, guys, especially, you know, at that time when Cornered came out, you know, like it was on the same level than all the American music 90s, you know, like Kickback was like, wow, you know, and they come from France and we're like, what the fuck? And Forever War, you know, like amazing album. I saw them like a few times also like back then, and it was fucking good, you know, just like you saw Kickback and then you can saw, you know, like Madball, and just like it's on the same level. Like they gave like great show, like great fucking band, and also like it influenced me, you know, like in musical way, you know, like All Out War, you know, like if I want to say like All Out War, Marauder, you know, like are basically like Madball and Gnostic Front was like my biggest like influence in music.
Yeah. That's what I found it extremely interesting, like reading an article on Kickback and stuff like that, that they were compared to like Madball and Marauder and all those, you know,
because they're on the same level. And also you can give also them a big shout out now, like it or not, you know, like all the negative aspects, you know, like then they brought and everything, like after that also like what they do, the music, when they change the style, it's so like pretty like very, very interesting. But have you heard about like also, I'm gonna talk about another Asian band. Have you heard about Whispers?
No.
Dude, okay guys, take a look at Whispers. Every Kickback fans need to take a look at Whispers, and especially Whispers just released a new video from the next album that they're gonna do. Dude, it's fucking insane. It sounds like kind of like you can tell the Kickback influence straight up, but they have their own style and they make a fucking great music.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, shout out your main Japan and Korean hardcore bands real quick. Just go ahead and shout out like top 3.
I can do top 3. There's so many like
Top-
it's more dudes. You know, if I have to say like I'm gonna be like a good shout out to Santa Numb, definitely an amazing dude who did like everything for his like for the scene. You know, like with Koba. You know, like both of them. You know, like they do like for Tokyo hardcore and the entire Japanese like hardcore scene, including Makoto. You know, like from Sen. You know, like did like they're the godfather of Asian hardcore. Key from the Geeks, definitely. Key from the Geeks and the guy from for 13 Steps. I'm sorry. 13 Steps, you know, also like did many things, but also like my brother who sing in a band like All I Have from Busan, you know. I just want to shout out like all those guys there, like that's it.
Okay.
Because I have too much, to be honest. Like,
Yeah. We'd be here for like another 3 hours for you to name all.
oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And for all the people that I forgot, I'm truly sorry, guys, but
It's okay. Well, check out. You have a lot of photos on Instagram that are like amazing, and you know, if you find one of or two of those bands, just you can go down the list of related artists, and it'll take you down a rabbit hole of like Japanese hardcore, Korean hardcore, and
I really do think that band and people should take a look. You know, like if we talk about like recent band, you know, like I mentioned Whispers. I would like to say that recently, what I love, you know, I love Simulacra. I think it's Simulacra.
Yeah.
Simulacra, like fucking good. I would like to say like, you know, like quick, like in my head, you know, I'm Numb, definitely.
Yeah, Numb.
Someone to check. There's so many like
there's
yeah. I'm just like there's so many, and you know, like when I'm thinking about it right now, you know,
Yeah.
I've like.
if you need, you can go on because Riz's episode will have been out, so just go on uniteasia.org. A lot of these bands have articles on there.
That's the thing. Like, and they should take a look.
Yeah, you'll be there for weeks if you decide that you want to stumble down that rabbit hole.
On the like, yeah. Also, I have Gridiron. I listened to a lot of Gridiron recently.
Gridiron's
I fucking
fucking
love that
amazing,
band,
man.
man. It's like wow. The
I
last record
love
is
Tyler on drums is like he's punishing so
Yeah.
good. I mean, him doing vocals in Year of the Knife is awesome, but I think he's an even better drummer than he is a vocalist. So, yeah, I love Gridiron. It's so rapcore too. It's like that,
it's
like tough rap.
Recently, what I love and what I found very interesting is all the kind of like 90s, you know, like influences getting back in the hardcore scene, especially, you know, after the pandemic when all people start to do, you know, like illegal show. One is for me like that's cool, man. It's like it's bringing back, you know, like the sketchy, you know, like the sketchy fuck authority. You know, we're gonna do our things, you know, like. That's the thing that I love, you know. It brought like there's so many bands that just came out and they do like crazy good sound, you know, and
It's too many. It's too many now.
there's too many, too many.
Not that that's a bad thing, but it just
Absolutely not a bad thing.
it means that you spend all of your time and money on all these great new bands. You play in Desecrate.
Yep.
You guys are going to be recording soon.
Yeah, we going back in. We heading studio next month for 3 new track.
Do you have a name or anything, or can you spoil anything?
I mean, like, you know, we're still like a local band, so like we're gonna record like playing that we already played. That's for sure. I mean, especially for people who saw us recently live, you know, like they're gonna have like they have heard a little bit like what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like here's the thing, we're gonna go like in a real studio, not like the first demo that we did in my apartment on the computer during the pandemic and the lockdown, you know. So
It sounds good though.
yeah,
It sounds
thank you.
good for that.
Thank you very much. You know, like it's Jeff the Free, you know, who's like is the guitar player from you remember that band Abacab?
Yes.
Okay, so Jeff the Free like
Okay.
was like Big Jeff who became Skinny Jeff, you know, with the face tats, you know, like
Yeah.
everybody remember him. Awesome dude. Shout out to you, Jeff, and thanks for everything you did for us. He recorded us, you know, like at my place because he is with his girlfriend in Montreal, so you know, like he did the back and forth with the United States.
That's cool.
And that's the thing. So he did the demo for Desecrate.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that explains why it sounds so good.
No, thank you guys.
Yeah, it sounds great. Well, I'm stoked. And you guys want to do some touring, or is there any plan to?
Right now, I mean, like we're a bunch of old dudes playing home music, you know. So
The thing is that you say that y'all are old, but y'all like, I think y'all rip harder than
a lot of bands that I've seen, like at least local bands, not just, I'm not saying that Montreal bands, but like in general, being in different cities.
But Desecrate, you know, is a band like except two members are just like 38 years old. You know, we all over 40. You know.
Yeah.
I'm turning 45 this year. You know, like.
But that's
the thing,
I still
you know.
can't
Just like,
believe
and
that.
I
Like,
think Greg is 44. Greg is gonna turn 44.
oh my God.
And Rodrigo is gonna turn like 43, or it was 44, something like that. You know, just like. But here's the thing, just like I do think that a hardcore is keeping you young.
Y'all will die at a hardcore show. Y'all be
I don't
coming
care.
out. Y'all be
I don't
coming
give
out
a
in
fuck.
walkers.
I don't give a shit.
wheelchairs.
I'm down for this. No problem.
It's fucking awesome.
I think like I have maybe the same dream than Vinny Stigma. You know, if we can die on stage, then we don't give a fuck. You know. So.
He was in an interview recently where he was talking about like being like 60. What is he, like 65 or something like that? And
I have no idea. I think he's just turned 60 or something like that. It's just like, but anyway, you know, it's just like.
He was like, I think I've got a few years left. It's like, you're only 60.
No, but I understand when you say like I understand the feeling, you know, like it's the same thing for me when getting old. When maybe if you're not looking like, you know, it's just like at the end of the day, you know, in 5 years I'm gonna eat 50.
Yeah.
You know, no, that's reality. So I get it when you say like I have few years left, but dude, that guy is like Vin is an example for everyone. You know, just like looking the happiness in his face every time he has an interview. You know, bringing the joy, bringing like, you know, like. The humoristic guy he is like that's it, you know, there's no word to say, and those people are an example to me.
Getting a fucking Madball head tattoo at 60.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Seeing him and Toby Morse from H2O is also like a huge kind of example, like living that life. I mean, he still like speaks up and does a lot of amazing stuff, even though he's, you know, 50. I think he's in his 50s.
I have no idea for this.
I don't know how old he is, but I think he's about 50. But yeah, I like the it's like kind of the old guard, but like, you know.
Yeah,
I
was pretty impressed about the last H2O album, to be honest.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's what's cool is just like what I love about H2O is H2O sounds H2O. You know, like it's pretty. This is what I love with all the bands from the 90s. They all have their style and their sounds.
Yeah.
And H2O, every album they brought, they sound H2O.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you want like rip off H2O, man, good luck, bro.
Yeah.
Good fucking luck. It's pretty good, man. Just with me, I love H2O, you know.
Great.
So
Yeah.
even like I saw them like few times like live. It's a fucking amazing band.
Yeah, they're so good. I'm waiting for them to come back to Montreal, but they're not like touring anymore, I guess, quote unquote. But might have to write a petition or something, get them, bring them up, Rusty. Also, ColdxSnap. Is there any plans, or was that just a project? What's the deal with ColdxSnap?
ColdxSnap always been like we started just like it was really like something fun between me and Jesse, you know, just and. It's like maybe I don't know, you know, we don't talk about that, you know. I'm sure if I'm stuck, you know, like somewhere again with Jesse, you know, just like we're gonna make music together, you know, like Jesse just me and Jesse, you know, like we're gonna play for sure. If we're stuck a month somewhere, we're gonna play music.
Yeah.
We're gonna create music
For a month,
if we from whatever. He's an amazing artist in everything. He's an amazing. And even in lyrics, you know, in singing, I'll tell you something like this guy is a fucking machine, you know, like when you look with inspiration, something like that, is like, oh my God, it's a musical genius. To me, he's a fucking musical genius. Like it or not, you know, like all the things he does, you know, just like, I know him personally, you know, like he's a musical genius.
Yeah. He has definitely like that signature sound too, and I think that's what makes artists like stand out. Like that's what really makes an artist is having like, you can tell when you hear, like I think Brendan Murphy from End and Counterparts is the same way. When you hear him like sing, you can tell that that's him. But Jesse also has that, like when you listen to Stick to Your Guns or you listen to ColdxSnap or even like Tradewind.
Dude, look, musically like Tradewind, man.
It's crazy.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But Tom also is an amazing guitarist.
Yeah.
Tom also is a very talented like musician, you know. So
Tom from Stray, right? He's from Stray.
yeah, from Straight from the Path.
And then I just love like Randy. I think is like the next. He's like Will Putney. I think is the next machine in the recording world. But I think Randy is on track to become like Randy LaBeouf is on track to become kind of that new. So yeah, that super group, because that's what they're called. They're a fucking super group. Like they're really good. But like I said, Jesse is just like he is an artist because he has a signature sound. He has a style. When you hear
his voice,
him,
man.
yeah, you know that's him. I'm excited to see them.
Yeah, man, there's so many shows coming. Like, I don't remember, like, dude, man, just I'm so busy these days, and
With
I
Kubla
forgot,
Khan.
you know, like, but yeah, we're gonna hang out, you know, like last time I, you know, like, I chilled like with Jesse, like, is when I was in LA during like their recording, you know, like invite me, you know, and had fun once again, and you know, like it's been like over 2 years, and we haven't catch each other, you know, so.
Well,
Can't wait. I can't wait. Same thing like I'm going to see Scott, you know, soon because he's playing with Knuckles and Dying Fetus.
yeah.
And just can't wait to catch each other, you know, so.
Have you listened to Omerta? They're the opening band.
I saw a video live recently when I saw like people freaking out and mushing, like freaking out. I was like, oh, this is Omerta. And I was like, no, I haven't heard, like, is it good? I mean, like, is it good? For sure, I think it's good, but just like, I don't know what kind of style it is.
It doesn't sound like anything really that I've ever heard. Like,
Oh, cool. Like,
it's-
I'm going to take a look in this case.
It's definitely like hardcore, but it's in the sense of like, there's a lot of genres that they put together to
Okay.
make, but it's very unique.
That's cool, man. I like
Yeah,
that.
It's really, really good.
I like that.
So that tour, I'm very impressed with the lineup of it. It's like a really short tour that they're doing, but Dying Fetus and Terror and then Knocked Loose, obviously like they put on a great show.
Of course, man. Dude,
but I
Dying
love-
Fetus, man. Every time I see Dying Fetus, like, you can believe in this a three-piece, you know.
No,
like,
it's so crazy.
the three-piece, you know, like, band in the world is just gonna, like, we're gonna, like, what the fuck is going on? Dying Fetus is just so good.
Yeah.
I've been, like, I started to listen to metal, like, kind of, like, death metal pretty late, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, because at the beginning, I couldn't understand what happened, you know? I was like, what the fuck is going on? You know, man, for real, you know? It's like, I grew up with punk rock, you know,
Yeah.
like, real punk rock. You know, we talk about, like, the first, like, death metal band, you know, were called, like, Obituary, you know, back in the days.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you spin, like, with Obituary or even, you know, like, a Bolt Thrower,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then you have Dying Fetus, you know, like, with the blast beats, you're like, what the fuck?
the
You know,
hell?
it's picking, was like, what the fuck is going on? So, you know, my ear wasn't, like, ready for this.
Yeah.
And then once you, like, pay attention with all the things, I'm like, dude, and especially live, man. Oh my God, man.
That's it. Because Dying Fetus, it's hard for me to listen to a record because it is like a lot going on. The vocals are a bit much for me. It's insane.
Oh no, man! Every time, like, Reign Supreme is on my is on my playlist, man.
Yeah.
Reign Supreme, man. Mwah.
But live,
Wow, what a crazy album, man!
Dying Fetus live is something that you have to see. Like it's just
Oh,
fucking
definitely.
amazing.
I mean, there's so many people. There's so many like band live you have to see. But if we
Yeah.
talk about like, I mean, death metal, so many. The chance that I had for I've been, you know, like working at Foofs for
Yeah.
so many years, I saw some bands sometimes that I didn't know, and I had a huge slap. I remember Origin.
Origin?
It's a death metal band.
Oh,
Dude, what the fuck? The drummer, man, from Origin, man. Wow. I'm lucky for this. I saw some bands and I didn't know, you know, like even death metal. Because what's cool with Montreal has love metal. You
Yeah,
know, like
it's
it's
a
a
metal
metal
city.
city,
Yeah.
definitely. And I had the chance to see so many bands, and sometimes like I'm lucky. Then I felt lucky like during because it was my work. You know, you're working and you can listen to music. So
yeah.
and also every time, you know, like I'll help also like work for Dave Boucher, you know, like the big shout out of the king of Montreal.
Yeah,
You know,
shout
like
out Extensive Enterprise.
Oh, just
for
like
sure.
just shout out Dave. Dave is like
The best.
one of the is an amazing person. Like
I was-
first of all, like one of my best friend, but also like for music, like Montreal, even Canada, to be honest,
Yeah.
like all the Eastern Canada without Dave, you know, like forget it.
Yeah.
And we talk about like everything. We talk about metal, death metal, indie, hardcore. Dave is like one of the guy who brought everything in Montreal.
Yeah.
And that shit's not easy. Doing the promotion shit is hard.
It's fucking hard. When when I quit the club, like at some point, we used to work together, and I started to book like show with Dave when we created Sanctuary at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, like this is how I realized, and I didn't want it to ruin my love of music. And I'm honest, when I started like the promote things, because it's fucking hard. And it can ruin a lot of things and the love of your passion.
You have to deal with bullshit all the time.
Oh yeah. Like sometimes also like depends of like there's some tour manager like fucking amazing guy, but there's some like just like, and it's not I won't, and pay attention on my words. It's not a question about like the tour manager or the artist. It's also like sometimes problem of the company who put the pressure on the tour manager and on the artist. So you're like, yo, those guys have little fucking, like princess. No, it's because you're dealing with the company. So when it's becoming business, this is what we said, when I talk about hardcore, when we do like all those illegal show, you don't have to deal with that.
Right.
It's straight up me, my guitar, my band, my friends, or friends, and the crowd.
Yeah.
And this is what I love. And this is what I like. And this is what I love.
Yeah.
That's it. So no, Dave, big shout out.
Yeah, shout out Dave. Thomas, this has been super fun. I've loved being in this environment, hanging out, just talking about hardcore.
Man. You're welcome.
One last question before we go.
Yep.
What's your favorite city for beans and breakdowns? I know you've got a good one.
A few, brother, man. It's like it's impossible. Like every travel that I did, every experience that I did, I can put, like I said, I have crazy memories from Japan, from South Korea, but also like crazy memories in Brazil when I saw Pennywise and By Religion, like in Germany, in Spain, it's like everywhere, like I don't like any like favorite, like like New York, I saw some awesome show in CBGBs in New York, some shows in like San Francisco, like
the Bay Area is their hardcore scene is scary now. It's so like it's
man, I'm talking about like 98.
Yeah.
Talking about like 1998 when I was in San Francisco and I saw that band like The Accused, punk band, but two members from Machine Head at that time, at the day, like we're playing in this band.
Yeah.
So I showed up. I was like, holy shit, there's two members from Machine Head, and it was so fucking like, was a blast. Was amazing. So now I don't have any would like to say favorite city. I love Seoul. Yeah, Seoul and Tokyo are both like my favorite city, but for different things. When we talk about hardcore, like everywhere you can meet some great people, great hardcore show, and always have good time. So
I understand. It's hard to choose. Every city that I visit, I find some favorite part. So then. Like right now, I love Dublin because I just went to Dublin.
Okay,
But I didn't go to any shows or anything. I just, but yeah, it's hard to pick.
No, it's really hard to pick. There's so many places to go, and so many also that I haven't been, know. So
Philly.
Philly is a great city, and Philly is fucking amazing. Just like, especially This Is Hardcore. This Is Hardcore is like, when we talk about like later of like all the festival, like. This Is Hardcore is the number one hardcore festival in the world.
Yeah.
Just like
it's
and the vibe is fucking amazing. The vibe of like This Is Hardcore is fucking cool.
Yeah.
So.
And it is like they don't do. I know it's called This Is Hardcore, but it's so broad now. The people that they get to pick, I feel like they've stayed ahead of the curve. Like bringing in bands that are not like the most popular band or that aren't like the most like youth crew or
definitely
they branch out. It's very cool, the opportunities that a lot of people get to play for that festival. And then Sunny with 856 like basically broadcasting all over the world like these smaller newer
also
bands.
that's a really cool things, like what 856 like is doing now, with internet, like there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, but bringing all that stuff, like make like things like easier from worldwide band to be like, like when you went to Asia and film all those bands, it's like fucking amazing for everyone to discover, like new artists and seeing like new scenes, a new vision, definitely new vision. So what those guys does, like, it's like fucking amazing for everybody. And now with YouTube, you know, it's free, you know.
Yeah.
So
You just go on and
Yeah.
you can go down the list of just his channel and see like a new band or like it's crazy. Like I found so many bands from him going to Blood Axe with Knocked Loose and Jesus Piece and all that. So yeah, fucking awesome.
also, I love Montreal.
Yeah,
you know,
Montreal
like,
is
I love
incredible.
Montreal.
Montreal
Montreal is one of the best places in the world to me for living, for the everyday life.
Yes.
Man, dude, I love Montreal.
I would say it's one of the most livable cities, like even though it is getting expensive and stuff like that.
Right now,
it's still,
right now, it scares me a lot. But I mean, like,
it hasn't gotten as bad as a lot of places, even in the States. The States, it's really, really expensive and hard. Montreal has maintained like easy livability, I think. Like it's still not crazy expensive. So
with the double taxes, you know, like,
yeah, with the
yeah, fucking guy.
we won't get into that, but
Definitely not.
And if you don't understand the double taxes meaning, for all of my friends in the States or outside Canada, we pay like double taxes. We pay to the
federal and
province
province and the province, so makes things very expensive.
Yes.
Also, like during to inflation and the rent inflation,
rent.
you know, like, yeah.
It's crazy. They trying to kill us out here. No, it's all good. Well, Toma, again, I really appreciate it.
And thank you for the podcast. You know, like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really do find like this is really amazing and also like very original. And we talk about like all the coffee, you know, and heavy music. So thank you, bro, for this, and thank you guys. Like, if you listen like the entire thing, thank you. If you can watch like Desecrate, also like we have a Bandcamp. We're gonna come soon with 3 new track and video, and come at every show we does, especially like the Under the Bridge one.
But yeah, Toma, thanks so much.
Thank you, bro, man.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beans and Breakdowns. I want to say a huge thanks to Toma for hanging out with me on the podcast. It was a lot of fun to do that live at the Canadian Roasting Society. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the ambient sounds of the coffee being made and roasted in the background. Be sure to check out Desecrate on Bandcamp. The link is in the description of this episode. And if you're in the Montreal area, be sure to check them out live. It's a lot of fun. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. You can also find out more information by following us on Instagram at Beans and Breakdowns and on the website at beansandbreakdowns.com. Until next week, be sure to stay caffeinated and wake the fuck up.